and welcome. Today I am with Veronica McCoy, who is an avid runner, marathoner, ultra marathoner. So welcome. Thank you for spending some time with me.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to start off by asking you how you got into running and when did you get started?
Yeah, it was probably 9 or 10 years ago now. I was in college. It was the summer between my junior and senior year. And while I was in college, I played golf and I had decided to take, that winter and spring season off. So I was just kind of like feeling out of shape and was looking for something new to do. So I decided to try running and, kind of Googled like, how do you start running, and found like I think it was like a month-long training program where it started you off in, run walk intervals, and just kind of worked my way up to be able to run for 30 minutes and just kept running since.
Wow. And I know you mentioned earlier that you've done several marathons and even ultra marathon. Which ones have you done, and which one was your favorite?
Yeah, so I did the Buffalo Marathon. That was my first in 2014. And it was right before I moved to Chicago. And then I've done the Chicago Marathon 5 times. So every year since I moved here, except for last year. And then the Ultra Marathon, I want to say that was in 2015 or 2016. And that was, the Lakefront 50-50. So I kind of used the marathon as a training run and, ran that 3 weeks later. Which is my favorite? I think that'd be hard to say, but I'm going to go with my first time running Chicago, because my first marathon experience was just frankly miserable. And had I not been signed up for a second marathon before I ran that marathon, I don't think I would have kept running these races. And I came to Chicago and just moved here. My mom came back to watch, and it was just like, you'll never get the crowd that here in Chicago like elsewhere. It's an amazing race, and to kind of run the city the first time was just truly incredible.
It's a great way to see the city, I think.
It is,
Especially if you're new. My first year in Chicago, I ran, and it was such a wonderful way to see those neighborhoods. So different from the way you see them from the train or from a car.
Yeah, and it's like having run it several years now, it's still so enjoyable because I've lived in like 3 different neighborhoods in the city, so it's like every time I run through a different neighborhood, like now there's a different meaning to like that neighborhood and my relationship with the city, and you still continue to find new things every time you run the race.
And do you have a pre-race routine, things that you do the night before?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's like for the most part pretty much the same. I mean, the day before, drinking a lot of water. I usually try to like stay home. I'll do the race packet pickups like 2 days before the race that Friday. And just so that Saturday, can stay off my feet as much as possible. Usually have some pasta around like 3 o'clock. If I'm running with team, I'll go to team and training. I'll go to the inspiration dinner at 5 and just kind of eat lightly. And then the night before, I just lay out my race gear, and wake up the next morning, get a little something in my stomach, and just head towards the race. Usually I'll have some music playing kind of on my train ride in, and then meet up with whoever I'm running with that day.
You mentioned team and training, and we do a lot of group runs. What are you more of the solo introspective runner, or do you prefer to run with others?
I enjoy running with others during training, but I think during a race for me, I prefer to be alone. It's enjoyable to see teammates out there and like cheer them on or run into coaches. But I have to say, for the amount of races I've done, I don't think I've actually ever like ran with a person the whole time. I end up just kind of running on my own. But I really do enjoy like doing training runs with people and having that camaraderie and teams become like a family at this point in time.
That's interesting. Do you think, running on your own during a race, does that help your focus or?
I think I know I get really focused when it comes to race day. I remember, I think it was like probably 3 years ago now. Like I could not focus on anything but that blue line on the road in Chicago. Like that was all I could focus on pretty much the whole 26 miles. So I think when it just comes to race day, I just get kind of like really zoned in.
Yeah.
On certain things. So I just ends up, just end up preferring to kind of run my own race and take in what I can, but also just like focus on, what's going to get me through the race.
Right. Nice. Do you listen to music?
I don't.
No. Interesting. It's people are either, oh yeah, I need my music, or I don't like music at all.
Yeah, when I started running several years ago, I was listening to music, and I decided for my first half marathon, or was it my first half or just my first race? I think it was my first half. I decided not to, because I was like, I would like to just enjoy the experience of the race without the music. And ever since then, I've never run with music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like I need to know what's going on around me.
Yeah, and it's become like a time to think and like decompress and just like let my mind wander. So like I prefer no music, no podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have preferences with equipment? Some people are dedicated to one specific shoe and they never want to change, and other people are, want to try different things. What's your approach?
Yeah. So shoes, I have pretty much stuck to the same shoe. I run in the Mizuno Wave Inspires. I once tried another pair of shoes and it was terrible. So I have some hesitancy to ever switch shoes again. But I would say other gear, I'm pretty open. Like I'm not stuck with like a certain brand of leggings or shorts, or, when it comes to nutrition, I've definitely changed over the years. Like I used to only use the goo gels, which now make me sick to my stomach. So like I'll use the gummy chews instead. So with nutrition, I kind of play it with like how I'm feeling. But yeah, shoes I do stick with my pair.
So if somebody came to you knowing that you're a runner, and said, I'm thinking about trying it, what would you say?
I would tell them absolutely they should do it. I guess, I guess that, conversation also depends, like what are they looking to get out of running? Are they looking to train for a race? Are they looking to just start and get in shape? I think I'd always encourage someone to do it. I think it's been a really great part of my life. I've met so many amazing people through it who, frankly, here in Chicago have become like my second family. So I would definitely encourage it, and also just like ask them, like, I guess what their goal is, and if they like offer any help if they ever need it.
Yeah. And yeah, you mentioned meeting people who become very good close friends. Talk a little bit about what, besides just the fitness aspect, what has becoming a runner brought to your life?
Yeah, it's brought, like I said, it's brought a whole group of people I don't think I would have ever met, who have just become very close friends. And they're friends that, you don't have to talk to every day, but I know they're there if I ever need them. And, having moved here and not known anybody, that was just such an amazing thing to have, after living here for a year, is just like feeling like I had a community of people. And, for us with Team in Training, we all obviously, come to team for a reason. Usually we, know someone or knew somebody who was affected by cancer, particularly leukemia or lymphoma. So, it was also nice to kind of be in a space where other people knew some of the struggles of losing someone to cancer, and kind of how, you know, for me, it also helped kind of let go some of the struggles I had with losing like my friend to leukemia, because I had like a group of people I felt like I could talk to and understood, like, you know, what that was like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story
Yeah, absolutely.
and talking about, you know, how wonderful running is. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you'd like to add?
No, I mean, obviously, I'd put a plug in for anyone who's interested in running and doing a race, but like is afraid to do it. Sign up with our charity group. Obviously, I'm partial to Team in Training. I think that's one of the best things you can do, because they really are just there for you the entire experience. And it's just such a memorable experience running with a charity group versus, you know, I mean, it's amazing to run a race on your own also, but, you know, just having that support and that team. And there's nothing like hearing your name called out by somebody you know during a race, because they were part of your team and trained with you. So that would be the only other thing I'd add, is definitely a plug for training with a charity group for a race.
Running for a cause.
Yeah. And it also just like, I mean, 26 miles is a long race. Like, it gives you something to like actually, you know, fight for, like near the end when you want to give up. It's like, well, there's a reason I'm doing this, so I have to keep going.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It was great talking to you today.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thanks, Kristen.